upset.
And honestly, Aaron Judge has every reason to be. A new video of his wife allegedly cheating is blowing up on the internet, and fans are losing it. But here's the twist. This isn't her first scandal.
You know who my boyfriend is?
That was from an arrest years ago, and now it's coming back to haunt them both. There's a lot unraveling around Aaron Judge right now. Let's get into it. The viral footage that has everyone talking. American baseball player Aaron Judge and his wife, Samantha Braxique, have been subjects of public scrutiny lately. From cheating scandals to evasion of punishment, the power couple seems to be making headlines quite often these days. Fans have described Judge's relationship with his wife, Samantha, as a story of growth and second chances. But what happens when one spouse decides to break their vows? Their love story began in the most innocent of settings. They met at Linden High School in California and became teenage lovers. But their relationship wasn't always smooth sailing. The couple reportedly dated on and off, with a brief period of separation, before reconnecting in 2019. During their brief split in 2016, both Judge and Samantha were linked to other people, with Judge briefly dating Instagram star and model Jen Flom. Samantha was also engaged to someone named Luke Heinrichs in 2018. Plans for the wedding were reportedly well underway, with a ceremony scheduled for January 5, 2019. However, what raised eyebrows was that just a few weeks later, on January 26th, Samantha Braxique again appeared publicly, with Aaron Judge as his date for the All Rise Foundation dinner, hinting that their relationship had somehow rekindled by then. Following that appearance, Samantha reportedly deleted all traces of her engagement to Heinrichs from her social media, signaling a clean break from her previous relationship. But that was not all. Rumors of their reconciliation began circulating wildly in February 2019, when the two were seen together at the Fanatics Super Bowl party. By June of that year, the relationship appeared to be back on track, as Samantha joined Judge in London during the Yankees' two-game series against the Red Sox. While Aaron Judge and his wife seem to have lived happily ever after, there are speculations about what happened during their short breakup period. And even now, these speculations are growing, with rumors that Samantha Braxique might be cheating on her husband. In the world of professional baseball, few stories have the power to captivate audiences quite like scandal or controversy. And it's not just Aaron Judge alone who's had to deal with the scandal of a cheating spouse. Ben Zobrist, a two-time World Series champion and 2016 World Series MVP, was married to Juliana Zobrist, a Christian pop singer, author, and motivational speaker, from 2005 until their divorce in 2023. The couple has 3 children, but their marriage faced significant public scrutiny following allegations of an affair between Juliana and Byron Yorn, their former pastor and marriage counselor in church. These allegations surfaced prominently in 2021 during divorce proceedings and a related lawsuit filed by Ben Zobrist. Ben's lawsuit alleged that Yorn secretly pursued an intimate relationship with Juliana, one that eventually turned sexual by spring 2019. The lawsuit also claimed Yorn and Juliana used prepaid burner phones to conceal their communications. Juliana reportedly admitted to Ben that she was having an emotional affair with Yorn only after Yorn's wife Robin discovered their communications and spilled the beans. Ben Zobrist's lawsuit alleged that the affair continued despite this admission, occurring even while the couple attended marriage counseling with Yorn. Sadly, the MLB player eventually took a leave of absence from the Chicago Cubs to address his marital issues, forfeiting a significant portion of his $12 million contract, earning only about $4.5 million. A similar incident happened in 2014 when Brennan Clay publicly accused his wife, Gina D'Agostini, of having an affair with his former college teammate, Dallas Cowboys star DeMarco Murray. Now, this case was more complex, as it involved a player's wife with another MLB player. The allegations surfaced on November 30th, 2014, when Clay took to Twitter to air his grievances, sparking a highly publicized scandal. He claimed to have discovered the affair after finding an old cell phone belonging to D'Agostini, which allegedly contained over 50 inappropriate text messages and graphic photos exchanged between her and Murray. The MLB player eventually divorced his wife, bringing an end to their marriage. Now back to Aaron Judge. Over the past years, Judge has shared glimpses of his personal life, especially his relationship with Samantha Braxique. And now, in 2025, the couple has welcomed their first child, a daughter named Nora Rose, marking a new chapter in their already fascinating story, while theirs seemed like rekindled love. The most explosive revelation in this saga didn't actually come during their marriage. Instead, it came from the dusty archives of Arizona police records, where a story had been quietly buried that would change everything fans thought they knew about about Aaron Judge's personal life. The incident in question took place in February 2020 in the upscale desert community of Scottsdale, Arizona, a place where celebrities and athletes often retreat to enjoy privacy and anonymity. But for Samantha Braxique, who was then Aaron Judge's girlfriend, this particular evening would become anything but private. Samantha was arrested in Arizona for extreme DUI, with breathalyzer readings of 169 and 181, well above the legal limit. But it wasn't just the severity of the charges that made this story so damaging, it was what happened next that would expose a troubling pattern of behavior and sense of entitlement.
Do you understand, what you're doing right now?
He's gonna have some more info for you, and like my partner said, you're only gonna be down there for a couple hours, and you'll be released with the ticket and the court date and all that stuff.
I just need to get home.
Right.
Do you know who my boyfriend is?
Now that's the question that got everyone talking. The casual admission of drinking and driving was just the beginning of what eventually became an uncomfortable encounter between Samantha Braxique and law enforcement. When the breathalyzer results came back showing her blood alcohol level was dangerously high, this is what happened next.
Go ahead and put your hands behind your back, ma'am. You are being placed under arrest for driving under the influence, okay?
The blood alcohol reading of 181 was staggering, more than twice the legal limit and indicative of someone who was drunk driving. While the cops appeared to have paid no attention to her initial response, Samantha went further in her attempt to wiggle out of the situation.
My boyfriend is in the spotlight of New York media.
What does he do? Does he own the company, or what is he?
He plays baseball for the Yankees.
Who's your boyfriend?
The entitlement and privilege on display in this exchange was breathtaking. Here was a woman who had just been arrested for extreme DUI, a crime that could have resulted in serious injury or death to innocent people, and her primary concern seemed to be leveraging her boyfriend's celebrity status to avoid consequences.
When she got pulled over and hit the cops with a, "Do you know who my boyfriend is?" I mean, come on, he wasn't even the captain yet. Can't blame a girl for trying.
Several social media users have referenced this incident, and the fact that the story's been circulating in fan communities for years without mainstream media attention has raised serious questions, as fans and supporters still struggle to understand the reason behind Samantha's actions in 2020. This new speculation of her cheating scandal is now threatening to redefine the way many see and perceive her. But Samantha isn't the only one who's been hit with a cheating scandal. Even Aaron Judge has had his fair share too. Aaron Judge's cheating scandal. Picture this. It's a typical Tuesday evening, and baseball fans across the country are settling in to watch what should have been another routine game between the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees are dominating, leading 6-0, and Aaron Judge, the towering 6.7 superstar who has become the face of baseball, is having another spectacular night at the plate. Judge had already hit one home run earlier in the game, and as he stepped up to the plate for what would become one of the most controversial at-bats in recent memory, nobody could have predicted the firestorm that was about to erupt. The count was full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and tension filled the stadium as Judge prepared to face what many assumed would be an intentional walk. But then, something happened that would change everything.
But here's the part. Take a look at his eyes as he looks towards the dugout for a split second. Remember, this is in slow motion. He looks over for just a split second. 3-2, full count.
This moment, this seemingly innocent glance, would become the epicenter of a cheating scandal that has baseball analysts, fans, and commentators dissecting every frame of footage like it's the Zapruder film. The Toronto Blue Jays announcers, watching from their broadcast booth, immediately seized upon this moment as evidence of something far more sinister than a routine at-bat.
Last night, Aaron Judge was accused of cheating by the Toronto Blue Jays announcers. He had a total of 2 home runs in what was a blowout Yankee win in Toronto.
This accusation sent ripples through the baseball world. Here was Aaron Judge, the same player who had just broken the American League home run record with his historic 60-second home run, the same Judge who had been unanimously voted MVP not once but twice, being accused of cheating in the most public and damaging way possible. But here's where the story gets even more complex and fascinating.
Judge most likely gonna be walked, and then bam, almost right down the middle, Judge slaughtered that ball.
The pitch that followed Judge's controversial glance toward the dugout was indeed right down the middle, the kind of pitch that, under normal circumstances, might be attributed to a pitcher's mistake or a lucky guess by the batter. But in the context of the allegations, this perfectly placed pitch took on a much more disturbing interpretation.
It was out of there faster than my dad in my life. That was a no doubt a home run into the upper decks, a solo shot. but it was a very odd solo shot though.
The timing was suspicious, the execution was flawless, and the optics were absolutely terrible for a player who had built his entire brand around being the clean-cut, honest face of baseball. Ordinarily, this would have been a perfect play, but his initial glance seemed to have given it a whole new meaning, and it's not surprising, at least not for a man with an astonishing career whose life has been under intense scrutiny for years. The initial hit was already suspicious, and then, as if to compound the controversy,
and then here we go again with the eyes. Boom, off towards the dugout.
Judge appeared to repeat the same behavior in his next at-bat. This move has left the baseball world grappling with a series of uncomfortable questions like, was Aaron Judge really cheating, or was this an innocent misunderstanding blown out of proportion? As the allegations of on-field cheating continued to swirl around Aaron Judge, a deeper and more troubling pattern has started to emerge, one that would force fans and observers to confront uncomfortable truths about the man they had placed on such a high pedestal. And it gets even more complex when you consider the broader context of Aaron Judge's career and the pressures he faces as one of the most recognizable athletes in America. Judge, who stands at 6 feet 7 inches and weighs 282 pounds, has the physical appearance and exceptional skills needed to excel in his career, and this has made him a standout figure in the sport. His 2022 season was monumental, setting an AL record with 62 home runs, surpassing Roger Maris's 61 from 1961, and batting .3111, .425, .686 with 131 RBIs and 133 runs in 157 games. He won his first AL MVP award unanimously, along with the AL Hank Aaron Award and his third Silver Slugger Award. Ordinarily, the pressure that comes with this level of success and scrutiny is immense. Every move Judge makes, both on and off the field, is analyzed and dissected by millions of fans and hundreds of media outlets. It's safe to say that the expectations placed upon him are not just athletic, they're moral and ethical as well. When Stephen A. Smith, one of the most influential voices in sports media, addressed Judge's struggles, he didn't mince words about the broader implications.
I assure you, Yankee fans are not thinking nearly as much about that drop ball as we're thinking about the fact that in multiple playoff series in his career, he is batting less than 150.
Smith's criticism wasn't just about performance, it was also about integrity and accountability.
If you're Aaron Judge and you smacking over 50 home runs every regular season and then every postseason, all of a sudden you stink, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's a problem. But when you...
The pattern that has emerged from this cheating allegation and arrest videos of Aaron Judge and his wife is one of a couple who seem to believe that normal rules don't apply to them, and that singular pattern has a lot of fans concerned. But what are they saying? Is Aaron Judge's career taking a hit? Let's explore further. Public reactions, damage control, and the future of America's pastime. As the dust begins to settle from the explosive revelations about both the on-field cheating allegations and the details of Samantha Braxiek's disturbing actions, the baseball world has found itself grappling with a fundamental question. How do you rehabilitate the image of a player who has become synonymous with the integrity of America's pastime, especially when that integrity has been called into serious question? Since the cheating scandal started, the response from Aaron Judge and his representatives has been swift, calculated, and designed to minimize damage while denying certain claims. Rather than addressing the allegations head-on with the kind of transparency that might have actually restored public trust, Judge opted for the time-tested celebrity playbook of denial and misdirection.
I was pretty mad, pretty upset, to know that we were probably, cheated out of a possibility of, making it to the World Series.
He said that he had some people chopping at him. I think personally, it's more of a pitch clock thing. I think he was looking.
This explanation, while technically reasonable, struck many observers as an attempt to provide just enough doubt to avoid definitive judgment, while also failing to address the more serious concerns. The defense continued with increasingly elaborate justifications.
I think he was looking 100% at the pitch clock, and in no way he was cheating or trying to cheat. You can't see pitch calm or anything like that from the catcher, and I feel like he'd be looking more downward than anything.
The most concerning aspect of the entire damage control effort was how it completely ignored the elephant in the room, which is the pattern of behavior that had been established through years. Yankees' Aaron Judge cleared up cheating allegations, saying he was looking towards dugout at teammates chirping. But this explanation only served to raise more questions about what exactly his teammates were chirping about in such a specific and seemingly coordinated manner. The technical defense of Judge's actions has attempted to discredit some of the claims claims and explanations that have already been made.
Not to mention the fact that it would be virtually impossible for him to look over to his dugout for not even a full 2 seconds, recognize a sign, know a pitch is coming, get ready to swing and actually make contact with the pitch.
While this defense had some merit on its surface, it failed to account for the infamous sign-stealing systems that had already been exposed in Major League Baseball, most notably with the Houston Astros scandal that had rocked the sport just a few years earlier. The idea that professional athletes couldn't process and act on information in a matter of seconds is simply not credible to anyone who's familiar with the lightning-fast decision-making process that's required at the highest levels of sport. Sadly, the most damaging aspect of this entire controversy wasn't really about the technical feasibility of the alleged cheating. Rather, it was about the character assassination that was taking place in real time across social media and sports commentary platforms. The revelation of Samantha Braxick's DUI arrest and her entitled behavior during the incident provided evidence for critics who had been looking for reasons to tear down Judge's carefully constructed image.
Aaron Judge's wife has come a long way since 2016, when she got pulled over and hit the cops with a, "Do you know who my boyfriend is?" I mean, come on, he wasn't even the captain yet. Can't blame a girl for trying. Fast forward 5 years later, and that girlfriend is now his wife of a few years already, actually.
The casual dismissal of such serious criminal behavior, particularly on social media, revealed something deeply troubling about how celebrity culture had normalized entitled and potentially dangerous behavior. The fact that nearly causing serious injury or death through drunk driving could be laughed off as "can't blame a girl for trying" spoke to a broader cultural problem that extends far beyond baseball. Plus, the timing of these revelations couldn't have been worse for Judge, who had just signed a 9-year, $360 million contract with the Yankees in December 2022, making him team captain, the 16th in franchise history. Judge credited his wife for encouraging him to directly contact Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner during contract negotiations, a pivotal moment that solidified his commitment to the team. The irony here is palpable. The same woman who had been arrested for extreme DUI and attempted to leverage her boyfriend's celebrity status to avoid consequences was now being credited as a key advisor in the most important business decision of Judge's career. The optics were terrible, and they raised serious questions about Judge's judgment both on and off the field. Smith, never one to shy away from controversial topics, had been particularly vocal about his concerns regarding Judge's future with the Yankees. His appearances on various shows has revealed a deep understanding of the broader implications of these controversies for both Judge personally and baseball as an institution.
They didn't pay him originally. They offered him nearly $250 million. He thought he was worth $350 million. The brother bet on himself. The bottom line is that he's wreaking havoc.
But Smith's analysis went deeper than just contract negotiations. He understood that Judge's value to the Yankees and to baseball went far beyond statistics. It wasn't just the fact that he was a player, it was about his role as the face of the franchise and the sport itself.
And I think that he's plotting to take Aaron Judge away from my Yankees. Now, I'm Yankees first, New York always. Knicks first, New York always, because I'm a native New Yorker. But I don't want to see him in a Mets uniform.
The fear that Judge might leave the Yankees wasn't just about losing a talented player, it was about losing a major member of the team.
Aaron, if you're watching, he watches.
Please stay.
This almost desperate plea from one of sports media's most influential voices revealed just how much was at stake. As much as it was a hit on Judge's career, the broader implications for baseball were equally concerning. Judge's injury history, including oblique strains in 2019 and 2023, wrist fracture in 2018, and a toe injury in 2023, had already raised concerns about his long-term performance, especially given his size. Now, with questions about his integrity on top of existing concerns about his physical reliability, the sport is facing the potential loss of one of its most marketable stars. The timing of these cheating allegations, coming on the heels of such disappointing playoff performances, has created a narrative that Judge was willing to bend the rules when the pressure was highest, precisely when integrity mattered most. And it's not the first time he's being associated with a cheating scandal. Around the same time as the DUI incident involving his then-girlfriend, the baseball player also had a sign-stealing scandal.
You know, the blood, sweat, and tears you put into the game, you know, to be that last team that's standing, you know, and to hear that you got cheated out of that opportunity, that's tough to kind of, you know, let go.
When Judge and Samantha welcomed their first child, the news made headlines, but it also had some people saying some wild and suspicious things too.
Can you blame them for wanting to make more MVP babies? Congrats to Aaron and Samantha on expecting their first baby, and for how far they've come since that day in 2020.
It appears as though the reference to how far they've come since that day in 2020 was loaded with meaning. It acknowledged the DUI incident while suggesting that the couple had somehow grown and changed. While it's easy to come to such a conclusion, for many observers and critics, the evidence of that growth was far from convincing. As we look toward the future, the questions surrounding Aaron Judge and his wife continue to cast a shadow over what should have been the pinnacle of a Hall of Fame career. Judge's Hall of Fame candidacy remains strong, with his WR7 exceeding the threshold for right fielders, ranking 9th all-time among the position's Hall of Famers. He's got a good reputation, honestly, but character also matters in Hall of Fame voting, and the patterns of behavior that have recently surfaced paint a troubling picture of a couple who seem to believe that different rules apply to them.
Listen, at the end of the day, he's paid to hit home runs. And damn it, if you ain't gonna hit home runs, hit singles, hit doubles, like get on base. What you can't do is go to bat 39 times, strike out 19 times, and that can't happen.
Some say the ultimate tragedy of this story may be that it was entirely avoidable. Perhaps that's true. But as it stands, the future of Aaron Judge's career and legacy hangs in the balance, and the choices he makes moving forward will determine whether he's remembered as a champion or not. By the way, what are your thoughts on these cheating scandals? Let me know in the comments, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then go ahead and click on this next card on your screen.